Hello everybody. So we have completed left-wing extremism. Let me take you to the trouble that is there in the seven sister states. Yes, you guessed it right. I am talking about the insurgency issue in northeast India. So before we start dealing with these, let us try to understand the geography and the demography of the region, because only when we understand everything from a historical, geographical, cultural perspective, we will get a better picture. So without any further delay, let me take you to northeast India. Now if you look into this map, it consists of Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura. Even though Sikkim is part of northeast India, when we speak about it geographically, when it comes to insurgency, Sikkim has more or less remained a very peaceful state and has been largely insulated from the insurgent troubles what we have in the other states. Clear? Moving on. So the demography and geography of northeast India. Let us look into that now. It is a landlocked region which is linked to other parts of India by 22-kilometer wide Siliguri corridor in northern West Bengal. That is, connecting it with the rest of India is the small chicken neck called Siliguri corridor, which is 22-kilometer wide. In a nutshell, if this corridor were to get blocked, it will affect the entire northeast region. Getting the picture here? So that is the reason why the government of India is also trying to establish new methods, new infrastructural connections to connect northeast India with the rest of India, as well as to connect northeast India with Myanmar and other Southeast Asian nations from there. Getting the picture? Moving on. It is situated between China, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. China, Bhutan, Bangladesh and then Myanmar. Clear? And with an international border stretching up to 4,500 kilometers. Are you able to picture this now? A Siliguri corridor that connects northeast India with the rest of India, and the way it is surrounded on all the four sides with other countries and very limited connectivity with the rest of the world itself. If you say, it will not be an exaggeration. Okay, moving on. So now we understood Siliguri corridor is the only connectivity. Therefore, how is northeast India more important for us in the 21st century? If you see, the region holds the promise of acting as a bridge between India and Southeast Asia in the years to come. What does that mean? That is, if you look from northeast towards the eastern side, you have what? Myanmar, Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, etc. You have all these countries. So that means through northeast India, you can actually connect to Southeast Asian countries. Talking about the demography there, 7 sister states are predominantly tribal, with some states having more than 90% tribal population. And that is the reason again why their culture is far different from the culture that you may find in rest of India. For example, the caste system, which is very predominant in the rest of India, you will not find it in northeast India. When it comes to property division among the sons and daughters, the problems that you may find in rest of India, you will not find it in northeast India. Moreover, women decide on almost everything independently, right from choosing their life partner to the career what they want to practice. Getting the picture? So in all these terms, if you see, they enjoy a better life compared to the rest of India. If one were to make such a statement, it will not be an exaggeration. Getting the picture? So that is the reason why if you actually meet and interact with them, you will get to know that They are actually people who know the meaning of living your life today. More than planning for future, more than thinking about future and worrying about it or having anxiety issues with it, they actually live their life today rather than worry about tomorrow. And what is the reason for it? Largely the reason is the tribal way of life, interacting with nature and surviving. And that is the reason, again, you will see that in Northeast India, very low developmental activities, mining activities, industrial activities, etc. are there. Still, primitive form of agriculture, primitive form of subsistence farming, etc. are still in practice and in existence in Northeast India. Clear? Moving on. The forest laws in this region. Tribe A is there, the same tribe is there in this region. Now, how do you link these two geographically? They are staying in these two separate regions, but how do you link them? Getting the picture here. So, this itself will create what? Trouble in Northeast. Clear? So, the geographical divisions created by the British plus the forest laws that were implemented by the British actually added to the troubles in Northeast. Moving on. This led to numerous demands ranging from more autonomy to complete independence. No surprises there. Because ultimately, when you are linking people separately, now, alright, and in this region, let us say, along with A, B tribe is also there. And you are calling this a state. B does not like A does not like B. Both of them want independence. Whereas A is also demanding that I want all the regions wherever my tribe is there, that to be linked together. Tell me, how is this geographically possible? And if this tribe, one tribe, A, is asking for this, imagine what the other tribes will do. Will they keep quiet? Absolutely not. So, either a demand for a separate state or separate country has been a constant issue in Nagaland since the time of independence. The migration from present-day Bangladesh to the northeast states, that is the next issue what we have had. So, when we received independence in 1947, there were exodus of refugees, probably one of the largest case of exodus in history, where refugees from Pakistan came into India, refugees from India went into Pakistan. Similarly, it took place in Bangladesh region also. Now, in the case of Punjab, what happened was that refugees came in 47-48, within 1 year time span, the refugees got settled. Whoever came in from Pakistan side, they either settled in Delhi, Punjab and other nearby areas, and it was basically sealed. The border itself was sealed. Problem solved. But in the case of Bangladesh, what has been happening is what started from 1947 stretched into 1971 and even after that. Because Bangladesh had seen its own set of turmoil. Because from 1947 to 1971, till the Bangladesh Liberation War, if you were to see, it was actually East Pakistan. East Pakistan state had constant issues with West Pakistan. Over language, over religion, over the culture and customs, over the government jobs, over school admissions, college admissions, etc. After 1971, again, what happened? The Liberation War took place, crisis took place, civil war-like situations had occurred, dictatorialship situations had occurred. All of this were again led to what? Influx of refugees. So the steady stream of refugees that were coming in from the side of Bangladesh continued much into the 1970s and 80s. All of which led to what? A change in demography of the region, because a region that was predominantly tribal suddenly found an influx of refugees into these regions, and they were coming from where? They were coming from the present Bangladesh. And this again changed the demography, making the people agitated. Clear? So just like how the Bangladeshi refugees came into Northeast India, today we are having another issue now. The new issue is in the form of Rohingyas, who are the refugees who are coming in from Myanmar. So just like how the refugees who came in from Bangladesh were facing persecution, the Rohingyans also were facing persecution or are still facing persecution under the military junta government in Myanmar, creating a law and order situation in India. Getting the picture? So this is what it is so far. Clear? Moving on. So I already told you, since 1947, there were a lot of trouble in India. So 1947-48, or let us take from 1946 onwards. 1946 to 1947, we have the worst riots taking place in the country. So even if you try to read various books of history, we largely don't know what was happening in Northeast at this point of time. Because like I told you, unlike the rest of India, issues of communal riots, you will not find it much in Northeast India. The issues would have been there with regard to tribal conflicts. Clear. But once again, because of the remoteness of Northeast region and because we were having bigger troubles to deal with in terms of refugee crisis, settling these refugees, humanitarian treatment of these refugees, etc. Because of all these reasons, Northeast remained neglected. No surprise about it. Because of the geographical disadvantage that Northeast had, it remained a little neglected from the side of the government. Now, from 50s onwards, what do we see? Northeast India has witnessed large-scale insurgent violence. Because obviously, like the famous adage goes, it is only for a crying baby that milk will be given. Just like that, when a region continues to be ignored year after year, then automatically two things will happen there. One, people will get totally disillusioned with the government. This government is not for us or for our benefit. Why should we even listen to them? They don't at all take care of our region. Look at our region. There is hardly any development. Why should we even take care of them? This is the thought process that they have. Plus, if weapons are available at a stone's throw away, if there are other non-state actors that supports these sort of insurgent movements with money and weapons, then we will have a Pandora's box. And the region therefore witnessed frequent fighting among different ethnic militias. Clear? This is what happened in Northeast. Now, region by region, let us try to understand how insurgency evolved state-wise in Northeast India. The northeastern region of India has been plagued by instability, insurgency, and social unrest since India's independence. So once again, as you can clearly see from this map here, we have kept Sikkim out of it. Because Sikkim, like I told you, has more or less remained peaceful. But when it comes to the other regions, the same cannot be said. Clear? Moving on. So other regions, it cannot be said. Why? Let us look into the timeline here. Nagaland from 1950s. We have insurgency. Mizoram from the 60s. Manipur from the 60s. Tripura from the 70s. Assam from the 70s. So, if you look into this, you will clearly see that almost every state has been affected with insurgency. And there are a set of common factors or general factors that have aided these insurgencies. Starting with a sense of general apathy or alienation from other states of India, usages of derogatory words to address citizens of Northeast India. So like I told you, because the capital city Delhi was so far away, and even now when we are finding it very difficult to access Northeast because you only have one Siliguri corridor, then yes, agreed, at least currently now we are having air connectivity much better than what was in the 50s. But still, the point here is what? Most of the other states did not know about Northeast India. Very recently, a Nagaland MP went on record to say what? When he had visited Taj Mahal during his young days, he was standing in the queue. And as he reached the counter to take the ticket to enter Taj Mahal, he was asked to come out from the queue. Number one, why? Because they thought he was a foreigner. Number two, when he went on to tell, no, I am from Nagaland, I am a citizen of India, the worst thing happened, which is they were asking, Poland, Finland, which land is this? So he was telling Nagaland. Worst thing was they have not even heard of the state. So when such incidents happen, what actually goes inside the mind of a citizen who has come from Nagaland or Arunachal Pradesh or Manipur or Mizoram or Tripura, they'll basically feel these people doesn't even know that we exist here. So why should I even feel that we are all belonging to one country, of one motherland? So a feeling of alienation will start. Then the worst thing to do, derogatory words. Using very derogatory words to address them when they take pride in the fact that they are Indians. Getting the picture here? So such things will actually lead to what? A complete sense of alienation and disconnect from the rest of India. Clear? What are the other factors? The struggle for identity. Complexities in the relationships between Assamese and non-Assamese aroused from the perception of Assamese hegemony. So in Assam, if you see, for example, many agitations have taken place over the years, especially since the 70s. And the largest reason for that was the influx of the Bangladesh refugees, as a result of which these Bangladeshi refugees became what? The majority there. And the original inhabitants in the Assam region, they became a minority. So this created what? A sense of alienation. In what sense? That, oh my God, I'm going to lose my identity. My culture is under threat here. So they try to ascertain themselves. And when they try to ascertain themselves, like I told you, if the opportunity of money and weapons is available, they will try to ascertain it through violent means. Had its root in the times when many of these areas were governed by Ahom kingdom. So Ahom kingdom, that is the past that we are talking about. And under Ahom kingdom, pre-independence days, there were these people under the rule of the Ahom kings. So the tribal people's basic idea, I will tell you. If you ask them, show me the title deeds or show me the paper where it shows that this is your land, they may not have any title deed or any document to prove. This they may not have. What do they have instead? They have history. They have a history. How? History again, is it documented? Documented history you may be able to find, okay, Ahom kings ruled in this region, etc. But then, basically if you look into the tribal idea of a history, they will say, my forefathers have lived in this area. My great-great-great-grandfather was buried here. They will have clear markings, etc. So, when such a scenario, historically, they are in an area since a very long time. Since time immemorial. And suddenly there is a change in the demography because of influx issue or because of creation of states. Automatically what will happen? Tribals will try to ascertain their rights and their identity. Either they will try it first peacefully, and if that option is not working out, obviously they will resort to what? They will resort to violence. Clear? Moving on. Cross-border factors and the border porosity. Illegal migration from neighboring countries and terror sanctuaries. So like I told you, if you take northeast region, what do we see? You have basically Bangladesh in the western region and Myanmar in the eastern side. From Bangladesh, I have already told you how we were having the refugee crisis from 1947 through 1971, and after 1971, occasionally we have had it. But as of now, it is not refugee crisis, but then we are largely having the issue of what? We are largely having the issue of illegal migrants entering the country. Clear? This issue is there. At the same time, from the side of Myanmar, what do we have now? From the side of Myanmar, we are having a new issue in the form of Rohingya Muslims who are coming into the region because they are being persecuted by the military junta government. Clear? Terror sanctuaries. Now I told you the terror sanctuaries, what is the idea here? So, the various organizations that are here, terror or insurgent groups that are there in northeast region, they will create havoc in the northeast region, you know. Either attacks or they will do what? Bombings, whatever. different parts, they will do this and then they will move to Myanmar. And they will take refuge there in the forests of Myanmar's region, because this entire region, geography-wise, if you see, what is it? Geography-wise, this region is known for its Himalayas, and then in addition to that, what do we have? In addition to Himalayas, you also have forest cover. So it is pretty easy to create havoc in the northeast region and then go and take refuge in what? In Myanmar. Now observe here, both the times now, twice I have drew the northeast map in a rough fashion. And pretty much it is explainable, self-explainable. This I want you to do. At the drop of a hat, if you get a question on Northeast India insurgency or Northeast border issue, Northeast related internal security threat, anything you get, immediately draw the map, mark Bangladesh, mark Myanmar, and draw the geography there. Clear? This much I want you to do. Drawing maps should be a part of your preparation process, because good maps will make for good answers. Keep that in mind. Alright, moving on. Because the borders are very porous, we know that, because that is why insurgents will create trouble in northeast and they will go where? Take safe refuge in the forests of Myanmar. Or from Myanmar you will have Rohingya Muslims coming in, or from Bangladesh you will have illegal immigrants coming into our country. Both of that we understood. And because the borders are porous, the fundamental issue what we have is narcotics and organized crime. How narcotics? Because of the proximity to the Golden Triangle. Now what is Golden Triangle? Golden Triangle is the nefarious nexus that exists between Thailand, Laos and Myanmar. Not between the government but between the groups there, especially for what? Especially for the production, sale and distribution of psychotropic drugs. Clear? So the psychotropic drugs production, the sale of it and the distribution of it, all of this happens there. And this Golden Triangle is actually the triangle that you can make with these three countries, Thailand, Laos and Myanmar. So from that, whatever production happens, it straight away enters into Northeast India. And because of this, what is the issue also that we have there in one health issue? Spread of AIDS. Why? Because the syringe that is generally used to inject the drug, that is passed on. As a result of which, it has been found out that in Northeast India, it has been little difficult to bring down the cases of AIDS or HIV virus, or the spread of HIV virus. It is a little difficult in Northeast to bring it down. So we saw the general factors that have wreaked havoc in Northeast India. Now we know what is the situation, what have led to these insurgent issues that we got to know. Now because of these general factors, what evolution have taken place? Evolution in the sense, in the terms of the insurgent groups. What are the various insurgent groups that are out there that had created trouble in Northeast India? Let us look at it very quickly. The major insurgent groups of Northeast are NSCN, the National Socialistic Council of Nagaland, the ULFA, United Liberation Front of Assam. In Northeast states, generally outfits are divided based on the state, NSCN and ULFA. If you look at the picture here, one thing what is clear is what? It is looking organized, disciplined, which automatically means what? It is going to be a headache for the police, the army and central armed police force. For all of them, it is going to be a hurdle. Clear? Because as far as these groups are concerned, they are fighting for their freedom. They are fighting for their cultural rights. They are fighting for their tribal rights. But from an Indian's perspective, you have no right to secede from India, no matter what. And number two, you have no right to take up arms against the government. Whatever it is, the democratic process has to be respected. You can take the help of the judiciary to ascertain your rights. Clear? Moving on. So, UNLF, United Nations Liberation Front, and the PLA, the People's Liberation Army of Manipur, are the next in line. Again, if you see, UNLF and PLA, again, uniformed culture, disciplined militias, all these are its trait. Clear? Militia, that is how it is pronounced. Alright? So, that is the trait of what? These insurgent groups. These 4 armed groups have been singled out for 3 specific reasons. There are so many armed groups, so many factions. In fact, from very, very large armed groups, they are broken down into smaller ones. But then why these 4? These 4 groups have been most dominant in their areas of operation. Most dominant means, understand it as violent attacks, killings, both of civilians as well as of army personnel or defense personnel or even the security personnel. The 4 groups have succeeded in sustaining their armed movement for more than 30 years. What does that mean? For 30 years, if they have stayed relevant, that means that level of misgovernance or maladministration have also occurred in that area. Because constantly you need new people to come and enter these insurgent groups. So effectively, if some insurgent group has stayed relevant for 30 years, means for 30 years, we have not done our part in toning down these insurgencies. Clear? Now, what is the third reason? To achieve sustainable peace in Northeast, resolution of conflict with these 4 groups is important. That is the reason. Now, Northeast India, like I have told you, it is beautiful, as beautiful or maybe even more beautiful than the state of Kerala, which actually is known as God's own country. But what happens here is one violent attack by any one of these groups, that takes the center page. That becomes the frontline news. As a result of which the perception against Northeast remains intact. The negative perception, the prejudice, the stereotyping remains intact. As a result of which again, Northeast India remains what? Remote. Not geographically this time, psychologically. Getting the idea? And that is why if you need sustainable peace in the region, if India is planning to become a $5 trillion economy, India wants to achieve this dream, then for that it will have to bring all the states into the table of economic progress or financial inclusion. Northeast India has huge potential in terms of tourism and service sector, and it is a potential that is waiting to be what? Tapped. Once it is tapped, there will be no end to the developmental process sustainably in Northeast India. Clear?